Do you have a systemized way of putting together your weekly content? Or do you maybe just want something that's a little bit more efficient? My weekly content bundle system helps me put together and schedule my content in less than 10 minutes. And I'm sharing exactly how it works with you now. Hey there, Empire Builders. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley Dale, and if you're new here, I am a content strategist and sales funnel strategist, helping you create more profitable, productive, and yes, profitable content too. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below this video or that little bell icon thing where you'll be notified whenever a new video goes live for value-packed videos just like this one every single Monday. I roll out my content a little bit like Taylor Swift rolls out a new album. I'm everywhere, and it kind of feels a little bit like cheating because my weekly content bundle system makes it so easy to put together and then schedule my social media. Like, we're talking within minutes. And people will frequently tell me, I feel like you're everywhere. I feel like I'm always seeing your stuff. And that's great, especially since it doesn't take me very much time to make it happen. So first off, what is a weekly content bundle? So for me, a weekly content bundle is a bundle of content. It can be a bunch of different pieces, but it's a bundle of content, a group of content that you publish on the same frequency. So you might have a weekly content bundle, and that is all the content that you publish regularly on a weekly basis. You might have a monthly content bundle, and that is all of that content that you publish on a monthly basis. We group it together for efficiency so that we can treat it the same, so that we can have a system behind how you're getting that content out consistently on that frequency. So I'm taking you behind the scenes of my system, but I do want to mention that your blogging frequency determines what your main content bundle is going to be. So for me, that is weekly. So my blogging frequency is weekly. So my social media is too. But I have clients where we create all the content for them and we do bi-weekly content bundles for them because we only do 2 blog posts a month unless they upgrade to have us do one every single week. And so we are doing their social media bi-weekly as well. And we're calling it a bi-weekly content bundle. So you can take this and tweak it and make it your own, but just know that the frequency is going to determine is if it's a weekly content bundle or a bi-weekly one or a monthly one. So you get to choose, but just know that that frequency is an important criteria of when you put this together. So something to consider. So before we get to putting together your social media system or your content bundle system, there are some decisions that you have to make. So when I was setting up mine, there are 5 decisions that I had to make when putting this together. Decision number 1 was my content strategy shining stars. So for me, these are my core pieces of content that are central to that content bundle. So for me, that is the blog, that is the video that goes along with the blog, and then that's also a weekly promo. So I'm choosing one thing to highlight for the week. So whether it is a podcast episode or a collaboration I'm a part of, or whether it is one of my evergreen offers or one of my flagship freebies, basically I'm choosing one thing to spotlight and highlight in addition to my weekly blog post. So I'm making sure that I'm getting that in rotation as well. And I'm always choosing something to go here. So for me, my content shining stars are that blog post, that video, and that weekly promo. For you, it could be these things as well. It might also include case studies. It might also include client testimonials. So you get to choose, but what are those shining stars in your content strategy? Decision number 2 that I had to make was, what are my social media platforms going to be? So what are the different platforms that I'm going to show up on regularly? So for me right now, that is Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, and Pinterest. Used to also include Twitter, but a couple years ago, I decided to slash that because I wasn't getting any traffic from it anyways. So decision number 2 that I had to make was, what are my social media platforms that I'm going to be showing up and publishing and pushing content to? Decision number 3 is, what is your accessory content? So in addition to the blog post and the video and the promo, what are the other pieces of unrelated content that I'm going to be publishing on the same frequency? And these are kind of like, I call this accessory content. These are smaller pieces. So this could be any extras like motivational quotes or curated posts or discussion questions or behind the scenes or case studies and testimonials or your Instagram stories. So what are those extra pieces of content that are going to be part of your bundle as well? So for me, I do one behind the scenes post every week, whether that is just like a thought, something I've journaled on in my morning journaling and turned into a post post. It could also be like something that's going on in my business or a project I'm working on, giving an update on it. It also includes one curated post, and it also includes 3 discussion questions that go along with my blog post. So now that I know what my social media platforms are going to be, what my accessory content is going to be, it's time to break out a calendar and figure out what my regular content slots on my calendar are going to be for each of those platforms. So this might be something like for each of your platforms, you want to think about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So what is the theme of that post that you're going to be making on LinkedIn on each of those days? So for me, in my Facebook group, for instance, on Monday, I'm posting about my latest blog post. On Tuesday, I'm posting a discussion question. On Wednesday, I'm posting another discussion question. On Thursday, I'm posting a promotional message. And then on Friday, I'm doing another discussion question. So you can start to build up what these regular slots are going to be. You might not specifically be saying like it's going to be this post about this thing and this exact post, but we want to know thematically like what is going to be in that calendar slot for that social media platform on that week, on Mondays every single week. Then once you have your calendars in front of you, your loose kind of model calendars for your social media, you want to take those lists and you want to turn it into an ingredient list. So basically you have a checklist. So this might look like something like I have, the blog post. I want one long promotional message for the blog post, one short promotional message for the blog post. I want these images for the blog post. For my video, I want a screenshot of it. I want a commercial of the video. For my behind the scenes post, I need that written. For my 3 discussion questions, I need those. For my weekly promo, I need a long message and a short message and these images. So basically, we're taking that regular calendar for LinkedIn or for your blog, and we are turning it into an itemized list of the things that you need so that you have a checklist and you can put a system behind putting all these pieces together. So I want to walk you through the template. So we use a Google Sheet, we save it as a template. So every time we have a new blog post like this one here, kind of meta, we're doing it for this one. So what I will do is I'll come down to Google Sheets and I'll go from a template, and we're able to store this as a template in Google Sheets, which means we don't need to recreate it or make a copy of it. We don't need to deal with that annoying kind of copy of. And so I'll choose the most recent one, which is 2020 in this case. I do often update this probably about a couple of times a year. So this is the summary page, and this is the first page that it opens up to. But the first thing that I will do is I'll go in and put the title. So in this case, this is example social media bundle. So I'll go and put the title so that when I'm searching for it, I can find it if I don't want to go directly into the folder. The next thing that I do is I choose the start date and say that this one was for, let's just say it was for November 1st. So I would go 11 and then I would go 1, and we usually do our first post at 6 a.m., although we have 7, 8, 9, and 10, so it kind of mixes it up a little bit. Then I would put in the details here. I put the blog title, I put the link to the blog post, and then I also put the link to the Google Drive folder in case I need to go in there and find images. I also put if there's a content upgrade, I put the link to the YouTube video once it's up there, or we sometimes add it there afterwards. We put the folder for the YouTube video, so any of the files, the screenshots that we need. We have the promo here. So like I said, we choose one weekly promo. So maybe if I didn't have anything, I might choose the monthly content planning kit, which is my go-to freebie. We have the promo link, so where people can go and sign up for it. We have the promo folder. We have the dates of the emails. I put them in there too. And then I also put a link to the Asana project plan template, the task for the specific piece of content, this weekly content bundle. So down below, you can see these different tabs I have, but they're also linked here as well. The second stop after I'm done is I go to bundle, and then all of this information is auto-populated through linked fields. So if I just went blog title, if I went blog link, if I said blog folder, I'm just not very creative here. Then I go over into bundle, you can see some of those pieces have been pulled over as well. So those would pull those things over. So then what I do is I copy and paste in my promo copy for the week. So this is the long promo for the blog post. So let's just say, let's put that there so you guys can see how it works. And then I would copy in the short promo second option. I'd put in my discussion questions as well. So I'd actually, instead of just putting what it is, I'd put the actual text here. Then Then I could put in my email for the blog post, so my weekly newsletter, the subject and the footer. The images, I put the links to the images here. So say this was the banner, I'd put the actual URL of the image file in. I just grabbed the shareable link here and I would put it in there. So let's say that this was an image. I would copy it. And then here I would just put the link to the actual image here. So then I come in and I put my info for my promo for the week, the long, the short, the email promo, those links to the images. So where they're stored in Google Drive, I put in my curated post. So this is my accessory content. I put in my curated post, just copy and paste that. I don't really need an image for this one. I put in my thought. So that's kind of my behind the scenes. And then I also put my extra discussion question here. And this is just auto-populated from above. So then you can see my weekly calendar. I didn't fill out everything here, but it starts to put in these things. So at a high level, I can see what's happening on the blog this week, on YouTube, email, Instagram. I can see what's happening for each day of the week on these channels. But then the next tabs that I have are the category specific ones as well. So these are the platform scheduler pages. And so when I'm ready to schedule them, so you can see here that they're interlinked, so it pulls it from the other sheets. And the way you set that up, so say you wanted to, on another sheet, I wanted to put that promo message here, I would go equals, and I could go this, and then it would show what that has here. And then when I export it, it'll show these ones that I have. So if you're going to use Social Pilot, which is probably the best bulk scheduler, they'll give you a code for that specific Facebook page or for that specific LinkedIn page. So you'll need that code, and then you'll also need the date in this structure. So they're pretty picky about how it's put in. And then midway through the year, they changed it on me. So we had to go and fix it for all of them. But these are our platform scheduling pages. So these go very quickly because we're able to just go schedule Facebook, go schedule the Facebook group. We're just able to click to these specific tabs and get those scheduled very quickly. And then if you're setting up your own template, you'll just want to set up these as well and make sure you set up the interlinking the way I showed you. So I'm going to walk you through the weekly system here and how I actually use this sheet. So on a weekly basis, because that's my frequency, I am making a copy of the spreadsheet template and we're putting that in the blog post folder. Then I'm adding my summary information to the front page. So I'm putting in my blog title, my blog link, my weekly promo link, the links to the folders. Then I'm adding on the next tab, on the weekly content bundle tab, I'm adding in my blog post promo copy as well as links to the images I need. Then my weekly promo section below that, I'm putting in the copy and I'm putting in the links to the images. And then I'm adding in my accessory content. Then I do a final review of all of the posts, and then I go to the platform tabs. And for LinkedIn, Facebook, my Facebook group, if I was using Twitter, I export it as a CSV. So the LinkedIn page, I'm exporting that as a CSV. And then I'm bulk scheduling that in Social Pilot within seconds. So I just needed to drag in the CSV. It already has the dates in it, already knows that it's for LinkedIn, and it just schedules automatically. Then once I'm done my bulk scheduling for Facebook, Facebook group, LinkedIn, I am going over to Planoly and I'm scheduling my Instagram posts manually. So I'm dragging in all of the images and then I'm copying and pasting in the text that goes along with it and selecting my times. Then I go into Tailwind and I schedule my pins manually. And I actually do my scheduling for my pins on the day, the morning that the blog post goes live. So I have my assistant go in there and they'll schedule out those pins for that post because we also want to add it to Tailwind tribes. So it's getting in front of people that way too. And we want to make sure it's a live blog post before we do that. I think it's important to mention timing here. So even though we could put this together so quickly for the entire year if we wanted, we are not scheduling that far in advance. I think if 2020 taught us anything, it's that you don't want really weird things going on social media at an inappropriate time. And so for blogs and videos, we schedule those about a month in advance. We do all of the month's videos at the same time in the blog posts. But then for social media, we're only scheduling that puppy weekly ahead of time. So by Fridays, the Friday before the new blog goes live, I'm approving the social media and it's going and getting scheduled so that it's nice and fresh. If things need to change, that behind the scenes post, I like to write it that week so it's nice and fresh and pretty recent. So doing it the Friday before, I feel like just protects us, but also gives us enough time to do it in advance that we're not like rushing to put it together the morning of. So do you have any questions about how the social media system or template works? Pop them in the comments below. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to click on the next video on your screen and subscribe for new videos just like this one every single Monday.